Hey everyone, welcome back to another wrestling review. This one is long overdue. This is an event that happened over a week ago at this point. Tokyo Pimps, Takahashi repping over here. We have Campo.Reviews once again joining us, reviews everything TV shows, movies, and wrestling now. Before we get into our review of New Japan Cross Stardom historic crossover event, I just want to let you guys know I am 14 subs away from 250. That's it. 14. My goal is to hit 250 before the end of the year. So if you guys want more wrestling content, if you enjoy that wrestling content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell for whenever we drop new content, and tell all your wrestling friends. Let's create our own Bullet Club over here of a wrestling community where it just becomes overinflated and too many people join like the NWO. But with that out of the way, Campo, thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here. Long time listener, first time caller again.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Before we get out of the way, historic crossover. It was a cross promotion between New Japan and Stardom. The main event is to crown a brand new IWGP Women's Champion, a tournament that was held over a long time that started with Royal Quest back in October.
yeah, and we went into this similar to the AEW event. Quite disappointed with the card that we were getting, and I won't. No spoilers here. We'll just
as it goes
go right into this.
But did you catch the pre-show?
What was the pre-show?
The pre-show was the LA Jojo of Alex Coughlin, Clark Connors, Gabriel Kidd, and Kevin Knight against Fujita, Oscar Lube, Oiwa, and Nakashima.
I did. As soon as you said Connors,
I'm becoming a Clark Connors fan. This kid, man,
love this guy.
Yeah, like I wasn't sure what to think.
I wish he was Australian, so his gimmick could be like a Crocodile Dundee, but
but one can only hope. But I wasn't too sure what his point was in Forbidden Door when he was in that three-way match. But slowly, as I'm watching more of his matches, I'm becoming a Clark Connors fan. This guy has something.
Yeah, he's a great wrestler at this point.
Yeah.
You know how much I hate the LA Dojo.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, this match
worked. But these were not the usual guys from the LA Dojo.
Yeah, it wasn't Kevin TKC and
Alex Coughlin is not bad. Apparently, he's a robot or an android or something.
He's an android.
Yeah, but Oiwa and Nakashima put on a good performance in this as well.
Yeah, I would hesitate to say a very good match, but it was nowhere near bad. It was fine. It was, especially for a pre-show match
where the arena was empty for this match. Like there was maybe 10% full.
When I watched this, that's why I wasn't sure like the card. That's why I have you. You're the guy. I completely forgot the card at this point, but I remember watching this and I was like, why is nobody here? But then they're even talking. You hear Kevin Kelly talking. Saying that there's a lineup all the way around the whole stadium right now because there's like an issue and people can't get in and it's raining outside.
Yeah, there was like a storm or something. So we have our usual Kevin Kelly and Chris Carlton on the commentary team for the pre-show. LA Dojo goes over. It was a fun little opening match.
I didn't mind for a pre-show. It's fine. Yeah. Got me ready for the event.
Yeah, and it wasn't long either. It was about 10 minutes.
This is normally a match I would put like 1.5 speed and just let it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Yeah.
But I didn't. I ended up watching this.
Next we have the super strong Stardom Rambo Battle Royal, basically. the winner.
Rippity doodah.
Was it the winner would get a future title shot?
Yes.
For Stardom, though.
For the
Stardom Pro. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Stardom's titles do not in any way tell you how they're ranked. So there's
about 19 belts in Stardom.
And they're not like Super Princess Stardom title, the Super Pink Awesome Sky Tower title, and you're like
up and coming star title.
Which one matters?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
But this one, this one is for the main one.
Yeah,
the biggest one. Mirai Mayumi, she won the match. I've never seen her before, but I did get some glimpses of some people I've never seen before, and there were some pretty good spots.
I'm gonna be honest with you. all the way through this till the very end, I am absolutely astonished at the skill level of the Stardom wrestlers.
Compare this to the match we were talking about on yesterday's show of the War Games match. This was 100 times better.
The lowest tier of wrestler in Stardom would be an absolute star in any company in America. That's like how I viewed this. I was like, they're talking about them as if these are like the mid-carders, and I'm like, look what they're doing.
Yeah.
And even the tiniest, smallest little woman hit every punch with impact, did every move with impact, and it really, like, I'm very happy we're going to be watching a Stardom event, I promise you.
Yeah, we will be watching more, and I'm looking forward to watching. This was really like,
and a lot of these women had a major event the night before, and just finished all doing their G1 tournament.
Basically,
so they've been wrestling for like 2 weeks straight and had a huge, massive event the night before, and then
another massive event the next night. Exactly. Very, very true. That's right. That's right. We had a double entrant in this show. The third entrant in the match was Saya Idia, and she was also the last person in the match, which was Super Strong Stardom Machine, who was the last eliminated by Mirai. And this was fun. It's exactly what a battle royal should be. A lot of team up spots, a lot of, double teams, triple teams. Like, one thing I noticed too is something that you love. A lot of factions.
There's a lot, and they're all like 4 or 5 people factions.
Yes,
which is what I like as well.
So yeah, and I really enjoyed this match. It was fun. It was, it wasn't a long battle royal either. And
Stardom just gets me.
Yeah,
more belts, more factions.
Yeah, exactly. And New Japan's trying to do the same thing. After that, we have a little bit of a break, and we go into the main match proper of the main show. Kicks off the main show. We have Chaos of Lio Rush, Tomohiro Ishii, and Yoshihashi against the House of Torture, Evil, Sho, Yujiro Takahashi. Oh, and our boy, Mr. Dick to go.
Yeah, see that? Pimp's Club.
Tokyo. Yujiro Takahashi.
But listen, you already know this. It's something that I absolutely hate about wrestling. Any tag matches that involve more than 2 people where they have to tag each other. But they told a really good story in this match. And Lio Rush and Yo were fantastic.
Yeah, they're doing really well in the Super Junior.
And Sho really sold a few big spots for them, which is like, I want more focus on that kid, man. He's so good. He's running around with a stupid ass wrench right now, hanging out with Dick to go. Like, I'm just so done with Dick Togo. Like, just go away.
But it's true though. Like, you have each group had 2 super young guys, 2 veterans, and 2 kind of like getting there. Right? Like, we have Ishii on one side and Dick to go on the other side, which are like the old guard veterans.
And Rocky's not there. So if you're like, well, why isn't Rocky here? It's because he's over in the US wrestling in AEW right now.
Yeah. And then you have like Yoshihashi and Takahashi, where they're not that old guard yet, but they're getting there. And then you have like the 2 up and comers in Rush, Yo, Evil, and Sho. Like, it's, even though Evil's not that young anymore, but like,
no, Evil's pretty old, but Evil is still like a very prevalent wrestler in New Japan for some reason.
This will eventually lead to
this was like I said, not the kind of match I want, not particularly the wrestlers I want, and I ended up being like, oh, thank you.
A fun match. Yeah, it was like, a great opener.
So we're 3 matches in, and this is a 5-hour pay-per-view.
Yes, it was over very long. Very long.
And unlike when me and Putty watched Dominion, which was like 6 hours, I did not skip anything here except maybe the entrances.
Yeah, I did not. usually sometimes on some of the matches I really don't care about. Like I kind of watch some of the Super Juniors and World Tag League. I'm watching it on the 1.5 speed. You know how we do.
But when they're doing it in these big spaces, New Japan, there's something special about like the entrances when they have to do that long walk. It changes it because we're so used to watching that 3 foot walkout because there's never, they're like right
from
there.
The back corner. They're just in the ring. All of a sudden, it's like, but yeah, it was fun. This is gonna eventually. I think there might be a Yo versus Show match at Wrestle Kingdom.
And I also loved the way they came out. So one person would come from one side and the other side when it was the men and women, and then they would all walk together down to the ring.
Yeah, that was really good too. Leo Rush and Yo do Roppongi 3K to Show, and
it looked good.
And they go over.
Yeah, Leo Rush was a house of fire in this match.
Yeah, he was like put what you will about the type of person he is as a human being. As an in-ring performer, this kid is special. Like I remember watching him in Ring of Honor a few years back, and you could tell this guy was going to be something
absolutely
special. Next match of the night. Moving on, we have our first women's 6-woman tag match, which was Queen's Quest of Azam, Lady C, Saya Kamatani against Donna Del Mondo of Himekea, Mia Sakurai, and Tekla.
Which, can we just say, Donna Del Mondo, like, let's go with this, drop a little Italian name out here.
Yes.
Yes. And we got, what's her name came out for the commentary.
That is, I have it written down because I was going to forget. Waka Tsukiyama.
Yeah. So Waka was actually quite fun for this, but I did bring to you my one problem with her is she didn't seem to understand anything Kevin Kelly said.
No.
But for some reason, she could understand Chris, even though they're both speaking English. And her
because answers, I think what Kevin Kelly, he was kind of like using like I don't know,
large vocabulary for her.
Yeah,
because like he would say ask her questions, and her answer was like yes, okay, like
yes, okay.
She has no idea what the hell you said.
Where Chris is like, it's a fun match. Oh yes, fun match. Yes.
Yeah, and then he spoke Japanese to her too. And that's what they should have did the whole time, and he could just translate.
Yeah. But she was good. I didn't mind her at all. Like
hey, so
she added, and this is what we're gonna get to at the end of the night. But she added something to this card.
She added to a lot.
Yeah.
She added to a lot because we don't know anything. And by the way, like they did such an excellent job explaining who these people are because we don't watch Stardom.
Yeah.
I don't know who this person is. Giving me history on them,
especially being new American Westerners to the Stardom product, unless it's someone like who really is into the Joshi products, which we are not as of a few weeks ago, which is something like you said we're going to get more into. The Joshi is being represented really, really well in this. Like, and I like the fact that Chris was able to like explain who these people are, who are the factions, who are, you know what I mean? Like, for example, like Yumi, what's her name? Waka. She's part of a faction. Which faction is she part of?
She's part of the ones on the other side of this, isn't it? The Ice,
the Queen's Quest.
Oh no, she's part of like the Ice Princess C or something.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah, I forgot the name of it. Yeah, I forgot what her faction.
They come out like in the next match, I believe.
Yeah. But yeah, this was a really good 6-person
3-on-3 women's match. I don't know anybody. I'm like, oh no, this is gonna suck, especially because it's early in the card, and we know how New Japan does early in the card.
Yeah.
Well, I was so entertained.
It was fantastic. Like it was nonstop action this match.
And this is like this leads up to what's happening later. So I don't really want to like spill beans on like my emotional feelings yet, but like these matches are like really well put together to the point where I'm like, and not to be disrespectful, I'm having trouble believing that this is women's wrestling. I'm like, and I know we picked women's matches as our favorite matches. Like we're seeing the progress here, but like after watching that WWE stuff, even watching the AEW women's matches minus the Tony Storm match with Jamie Hayter, it was
I was so disappointed with that.
What is this? This is like a new world of like Putty would die watching this. I think.
Putty would have a heart attack for other reasons too, but
but I mean, like it's like real,
but it's
legitimate.
It does blend that entertainment aspect too, because it's so well choreographed. It's so well, like, you know what I mean?
And New Japan is not so finger deep in this type of thing, but
yeah,
Japanese wrestling is a lot more exploratory with like wacky characters and like
yeah,
comedy stuff. But like the female wrestling, they are like full on these committed characters, and it's
yeah.
like you buy into it 100%. Like
I
there's
was
a
totally,
pirate and there's an ice princess and there's
yeah,
a gangster, and you're like, okay, like
sure. There's a pop idol, like it's,
yeah, and you're just like all in. They're singing their own freaking theme songs.
yeah, which we'll go into after, but like, yeah, this a few shows ago when we said this match was better than it had any right to be. I forgot which match we were talking about. This too was so good. Like I was not expecting something this good from basically these ladies are like mid carders.
Yeah, almost all the women on this are in the women on women matches in the early
Mm-hmm.
part here are like straight up mid carders.
Yeah.
And it was a good match. I was surprised. We're 4 matches in now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even feeling the length of this pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're already 4 matches in. Queen's Quest goes over. My stand-up performer in this match, I gotta give it to Lady C. She was like
Oh,
fantastic.
absolutely.
Her and Tekla on the other side, like they were amazing in this match.
Absolutely. The tall ones, right?
The two tall ones,
Two
exactly.
tall ones.
They were fantastic in
You
this
know, I
match.
don't do names.
Yeah, I know. Moving on, this card just keeps getting better because next we have Julia and Zack Sabre Jr. against Shuri and someone who I thought did not belong here, but did a fantastic job in Tom Lawler.
Yeah, and listen, you know my number one rule of Tom Lawler. If he takes the pants off, it's a good match.
It's a good match.
And he took the pants off, and
Yes.
I just want to just absolutely put this
and
out
Waka
there.
was so confused by it.
She loved it though. She was
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
She's all
costume."
into it. Exactly.
But listen, number one, I still accept our list 100%, but Shuri it absolutely belongs on the top
On that
of that
list.
women's list.
Yes, absolutely.
And Julia has now become my favorite female wrestler. I love that she's like an absolute piece of shit. Like
but she's legit badass because she can kick your ass. Like, look, she did to Tom Lawler in that match.
Yeah,
like,
they were not supposed to touch each other. So the
No.
rules were the men had to tag out at the same time if they tag out.
yeah,
And just this was like a really good match. I'm dying to just watch Shuri versus Julia.
yeah, and it shows that these women now we're moving to main eventer women as opposed to mid carder women.
Yeah, these are like top tier main eventers.
Yeah, these are your top stars here, and Julia I think is the leader of Donna Del Mondo.
Yeah, she is Italian and Japanese.
And Japanese, weird combination.
Makes the name make sense though.
Makes it, yeah, and Donna Del Mondo.
And she was born in London.
Yeah, but she was like, I'm surprised she did not make that top 10 list because she was fantastic in this match.
Absolutely, and the character is so over. Like you got me hooked in like 2 seconds.
She plays like this piece of shit human being, but like you buy into it.
She belonged with Zack Sabre. Like they were perfect for each other.
Yes.
Just 2 jerks.
Yeah. And like I said, and Tom Lawler, who I thought did not belong in this match, gave me one of the best performances I've seen from him in a long time. I hate
how over he is.
Yes.
Like he gets the crowd going and it's like nonstop. He could fight Okada and they would cheer for him.
For him, yeah.
Like
as long as he takes off his pants.
Yeah, he only needs pants off and Sister Act 2. And then, that's the match.
There's a callback for you. Go watch our G1 video.
Hey, Lance Archer liked my comment, all right?
Yes.
He was like, oh, somebody watched it.
Somebody watched it. But yeah, another fantastic match. Julia and Zack Sabre go over. The matches haven't been all that long. They've only been around the 10 to 12 minute mark, 9 minutes, but you're invested in them. And
I'm at this point, I'm so overly invested.
Yeah. We're already at the 2.5 hour mark at this point, and it did not feel like it.
I was just like, more, give me more, please.
Yeah. And we're slowly getting better as the show goes on. The matches get better. It's insane. Like,
imagine if you could put on a show where the matches are good,
right? Going into the next match, I thought this one was one of the weakest matches. Not saying this match was bad. This was still a fantastic match, but compared to the high we just had, this kind of dropped it off a little bit.
It didn't live up to the last match, but I still think it was a pretty. It showcased me wrestlers too that I had never seen again.
Yeah, it had Meltier, which is Natsupoi and Tam Nakano, against Suzuki Gun members of Taichi and Kanemaru, against Black Desire, which is Momo Watanabe and the Starlight Kid, which is she was on the top 10, and this is someone who I've never seen before.
Which I have this specific wrestler, but you know what? What's the first group of women called that you said?
Meltier.
I think that's who Waka is part of.
Yes, Meltier, right?
I think there's 3 people and her, but she's not even a wrestler. Is she Waka? Isn't she?
I don't know if she is though.
I thought she was whatever. Either way, we digress.
Yeah, then you had your boy Dookie,
the Dukester,
and El Desperado.
But they call him Doki.
Doki, yeah.
But that's not how you spell Doki, even in the Japanese translation.
It is actually.
Is it?
It is Doki.
Is it?
Doki.
So Doki Doki Panic is incorrect.
Yes.
Goddamn Japanese.
But
yeah. So
the only thing there's one thing I didn't like about this, unless it was part of the character. Taichi was a little bit too creepy with what's her name? Nakano.
Taichi's been a lot too creepy lately, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I don't know if this was part of his character or if he really was acting like this with.
Also, when they leave the ring at the end, when they go up the ramp,
and he's like caressing her cheek, and
he was like full on like the camera's not on us. Get ready, we're gonna go backstage and like party or something. That's how I swear to. It's funny that you said that because I got that vibe of like I'm gonna fuck you, like that's like. And I mean they're all pretty girls. It's all but like I was very surprised. The 2 women on the Suzuki Gun side,
they're both Suzuki Gun technically.
Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah,
and they're like their moves that they did together as like a duo were like fantastic.
Well, the Meltier, they are a tag team and they are like some champion of some sort of thing.
And they were really good together. Yeah, that. And then but Starlight Kid was actually both of them were really good.
Yeah.
On the other side, it was just a good match, and to see the relationship that Desperado, that's who it was, right? Desperado has with Starlight Kid makes me think that maybe
they worked so well together.
Yeah. Apparently they've been training together like crazy, and he like sees her as like his protege now.
Yeah. Because I think she trained
great wrestler.
She trained in Mexico too, right?
Yeah.
With El Desperado. So
I mean,
good match. Like it was still a good match. Like
no, you know what? I'm not even gonna dock this because even having Kanemaru, like he still brought something to this match.
To the table. Yeah,
and I'm not the biggest Taichi guy, and he did his thing. I thought they were gonna sumo wrestle.
Yeah. The one thing I gotta say that the women on this card compared to like say someone like a Bliss or a Liv Morgan is they may be petite girls, but their moves actually look like they have some sort of impact to it.
And it's a lot more shoot styled in the sense where I make contact with you a lot of the time when I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And it sells, and the work that they can do on the ropes and off the top of the ropes and through the ropes, it brings such an impact to like there's this whole new skill level. And then they really are like slamming the shit out of each other when they're like doing slams and stuff. Yeah. So
like you see them when they slam them on the ground, you hear the banging of it. Like whereas like, I'm gonna place you.
But, I think the sounds that come with a New Japan ring too adds a lot. Like it's a lot, has a whole different noise factor when you do things on it. Kenny Omega has mentioned that multiple times. That American rings is like running through a swamp because they're so padded and like bouncy.
Whereas the New Japan rings are just
very stiff.
Hard. Yeah. It wasn't a bad match. Like I said, this was the weakest match, but not a bad match don't get me wrong.
No, this is not. This is. I don't even think this is the weakest match. I think this is a pretty good match.
This was a breather match for me. Next we got Tanahashi and Utami against Hiroki Goto and Maika.
And why was this such a good match?
I don't know. Utami, this girl is fantastic.
Yeah, everyone in this match was good, and I was like, I mean, I love me some Goto, but like
anytime Goto and Tanahashi get together, it's going to be a banger match.
Yeah, because they just work so well together. It's like this is like what good wrestling should be. You put on a match that makes us feel the realism of it. It gives the fans what they want,
Mm-hmm.
but you're working so safely together because you
Yeah.
know how to function together. And it's just, that's like what I like.
What I like too is at one point, Micah was going on Tanahashi and he was selling for her so well. Like
And I
that.
think there was an added element of like messing with the audience and the viewers watching by constantly telling us that the women cannot interact with the men, but then making it happen, and you're like, oh wow, I'm not. This is not supposed to be happening.
Yeah, it's like you're watching something you're not supposed to watch,
And
kind
it
of
and
thing.
it works,
Yeah.
especially with the Julia and Shuri thing. That was
Yeah.
fantastic. They both beat up. Shuri beat up her own partner.
Yeah, she did. She was using her own partner as a weapon. I forgot to mention that, but yes, that was hilarious. Yeah. Another solid match. Utami goes over. She gets the pin, and her and Tanahashi do a little air guitar on the stage. You know,
Deserved.
always good when you have a little air guitar. Next we have a 10-man tag. So that was the last we'll see of the Stardom women until the main event.
This is the pre
Yeah,
main.
this is when the main stuff starts happening because now you have United Empire, Aussie Open of Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, Catch 2-2, Francisco Akira, and TJP.
Oh, I
And
freaking love TJP and Akira. Like,
yeah, and Gideon Gray, who
I
is
love
there.
Aussie Open too.
Yeah.
So
Against LIJ of Bushi, the other Takahashi, Hiromu Takahashi, Sanada, my boy Shingo, and Tetsuya Naito. This
yeah,
was a really solid match too. Like them beating the shit out of
and
Gideon
this is the
Gray.
exact type of match once again that I don't like. Especially,
Mhm.
this is a filler match for New Japan. This comes
Yeah.
on early in the card to get the fans like paying attention because there's
Invested.
big names happening and they love hearing their big names. New
Yeah.
Japan is so full of stars that you don't even know what to do with them, and it's like it just kept getting better. When the Naito fucking storyline starts
Oh,
playing into everything
yes.
happening,
With Aussie Open.
and it's like everything's getting good, and then like
Yeah.
at the ending of the match when they took Gideon's jacket and
Yes.
Shingo's put it on,
He can't even wear it because it's so
he's like
tight.
jacked as hell in it. It looked awesome actually. It reminded me of like Raphael in a trench coat.
Yes, it does
And
look like Raphael.
like
But
not the
that's the
best
thing
match
too.
here, but it
No,
shouldn't
but
have been as good as it was.
no, but I mean, and the thing too with the comedy elements worked in this match. Like, who would have thought that? I mean, yes, after Shingo had his feud with ELP, Shingo can do comedy, and he showed it some more in this match too. I
And
think.
Naito's comedy works so well because it's just like I'm a douchebag.
Yeah,
I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just
yeah,
a
a
douchebag. I
douchebag, and
took
it
your
works.
cane. Watch, let me
Yeah,
walk around with your
yeah, and
cane.
then they were all laughing because it like broke on him because I don't think it was supposed to break.
It's
Yeah, it just worked. This was a good match. Like you said, this was not one of the strongest matches on the card, but still a good match, still worth a watch. And we're like 3.5 hours in, and I'm not fatigued yet. I don't have burnout. I don't have.
I should be like on any pay-per-view, no matter how good it is, at this point I should be done. And
Yeah,
I was like still absolutely locked in.
yeah. But so United Empire go over with over LIJ. This is telling a story. LIJ though at the end of the match still come out like strong and on top and
I
still
think
look.
this is going to play into what you think. I think the LIJ and the beef with
Aussie Open
Aussie or with United Empire is also going to lead to maybe collapsing Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Like I think they're both going to factor in on the. It's going to become I think it's going to become a 3-way battle, and it's going to become like a battle royale where it's like pinfall. Each person gets eliminated match, and whoever's the first team eliminated, it can never exist again or something.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening. Totally could see that happening. But yeah, another good match. Like I said, I'm still not falling from
the
fatigue.
LIJ roster is so fucking amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. Like especially what's his name Thing and Teton are doing in the juniors right now too. In the tag
and
league.
see that's so underappreciated because no one's even paying attention to that.
Yeah, I'm watching as much as I can. I'm not caught up yet, but how are you on that one?
I gotta start all the way at the beginning,
Oh, okay. I've watched a couple shows. I haven't. There's like 6 shows
and
already
I
in.
just
Like,
haven't had any time.
yeah.
I'll
Um,
binge it.
yeah. Next we have Chaos of Okada and Toriano with the Great Muta against again United Empire. Now, United Empire, they are featured heavily in the last few shows.
Yes, and there is other than Toast of Torture, there's no Bullet Club.
Yes. Yes, that's true. There was no Bullet Club proper. I did mention that. Um, then you have of United Empire of Aaron Harare, Jeff Cobb, and the Great Okan.
Aaron Hanare is special.
Yeah, he's gonna go. He's
Jeff
gonna go.
Cobb had a few really good fun moments.
Yeah, even Khan, I didn't mind
Watching
Great Khan.
Khan when he was in the ring with Great Muta,
Yeah,
that was some fun stuff.
yeah. You got all your Muda stuff. I like when they were announcing the names and Okada's in his corner doing the pose when they announced them, and Yanu's behind him spraying him with the sanitizer.
It's so good when Muta spit the mist
Yeah,
in Okan's face, and he's like, "It's the red mist. That's worse than the green one."
it's yeah, and the way they were selling it too, it was just like
I'm really enjoying his farewell tour.
Is this Muda's? This is Muda's. This is not his last Japan show. Is
I
not
think it's his last New Japan match.
Okay, because
I
then
think
he
this
has
was
the
it.
Noah match.
He has the Noah match. He
against
has
Nakamura.
and then what's the other one? He did he did his AEW thing already.
Yeah.
There's one more match.
Well, there is a rumor that he's doing one last WWE appearance in the Rumble.
Yeah, that's right. That is correct.
That's just like a distant rumor right now.
I'm sure he's gonna do an All Japan thing.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, yeah, Muda's they're doing his last retirement.
He did some stuff in Mexico recently.
Yeah, with CMLL.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he's wrapping it up. He's supposed to be retired by February.
Okay, so we'll see.
The Rumble is in February, right?
Yeah, it's in January. So
there you go.
So that could be a possibility. Yeah, like play into that Nakamura match, have him and Nakamura and then bring it the Rumble.
Having him and Sting together was really special for me.
Yeah.
Like that was like home. That felt like home, like in the weirdest way.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and it was a really quick match too. It didn't it felt fat, like not that in the fact that it was like it was over in a couple minutes. It was a 10-minute match as well, but it just moved so fast. There were so many moving pieces, and Muda can still go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's not as fast or as he used to be, but
he understands what he needs to do. He's like Sting.
Yeah. And he helps put the other guys over. I was expecting Muda to get the pin on this, but it was Okada they gave the pin to because they want to keep Okada strong, I guess.
Yeah, Okada's not in like the main picture at all recently, so I think this is a way to like keep him there.
Yeah, and again, a much better showing than he had at Rumble on 44th Street.
Oh yeah, or he wasn't even like present mentally.
Yeah. This, like I said, fun match. Now we get into our last two matches. The main events proper. We had the match between Shota Umino and Will Ospreay, where Shota Umino's dad is the referee in this match.
Yeah, Shota came out with the shooter jacket.
Yeah.
They drop you a lot of background check on him. It works really good. We already know this stuff.
Yeah.
That really works. He's back. He's back full time in New Japan.
Yeah.
And then Will Ospreay comes out in the Hayabusa gear.
Oh, yeah.
That was like a moment.
And they even said like, he had dinner with Hayabusa's daughter to get the okay to like do this, and like he's gonna auction the gear off at the end of the show and give the money to the charity that helps support like mental illness and all.
So there's already been a buildup of things, like I said. Well, I'll get to that later, but like this match starts it with like this emotional feeling of like the father is the referee. Shota's this up and comer. He's trying to prove himself. Will Ospreay is dominant, and then the whole Hayabusa thing only adds another layer
to it. Yeah,
there's so much emotion at this point, and maybe it's just me having been sitting around for 4 hours watching this event, but like now I'm like, this is what wrestling should be.
Yeah,
and
there's all these different layers that add to the story.
This match was great.
It's Will Ospreay. Does he ever have a bad
No,
match
but
though?
like, have we ever seen Shota do this? Like, no.
No.
Like, we've
And
only
you could
got
see, and you could see in this
pieces.
match, Moxley's influence on Shota because
Yeah,
he pulls out the Death Rider.
he pulls out the Death Rider, and he's a big DDT guy, so that's
Yeah.
also a thing. I mean, I'm just very impressed by him.
Yeah. Umino, he's going to be one of those guys. We've talked about like Oiwa
Reina.
and Narita. Like these are guys that are going to be the
Oh,
future of New
sorry,
Japan.
Ren Narita. Said
Yeah.
Reina.
Oh, Reina. But yeah, these are guys that are going to be like pillars in this company in the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Yes, this is your
future.
This is the three amigos of Takahashi and whoever they were. My brain's
Tanahashi, Okada, and
yeah, there you go.
And Naito.
I mean, it wasn't them, but yeah, we'll take that.
But
Who was it? It was the WWE guy.
Which one?
Nakamura. It was Nakamura, Tanahashi, and
Naito.
No, the Bruce Lee guy.
Oh,
from AEW, that he wrestled in AEW against Orange Cassidy. What the hell's his name?
Not Kushida. Oh, jeez.
Well, how are we not remembering? Anyways, they were like, and then you had your other ones later, obviously.
Shibata.
Yeah.
It took a second, but I got it. But yeah, you're right. These are like them. These are the next generation. And I like Ospreay. Every time I watch him, it's just something about the way he puts on a show while he wrestles. How did Ospreay not make the top 10? How did he not?
There's something there that's like, I don't want to compare it to Kenny Omega, but like, and I don't want to say this lightly. Will Ospreay, injuries prevented, knock on wood, can possibly retire as the greatest wrestler of all time.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it. He has the high flyer stuff, he has the groundwork, he has the slam like work, he can sell ability. Like a maniac. It's like he comes in this match, he drops like 5 bang 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 moves, you're like, oh, it's over. Then when it turns around, he's selling like a psycho for this kid,
making this kid look good.
And then I love the honor thing where it's like his people on the sidelines can't interfere. They're not allowed to interfere with the match.
He gets mad at them. They're there for moral support, but they cannot interfere with the match. Absolutely. And I think that's what
he's a half heel douchebag, but he's honorable in the ring.
Yeah. And it's just like, you know how like what's his name? MJF says he's a generational talent. No. Ospreay is a generational.
MJF is not even a thought in a generational. He's not even a top 30 wrestler.
No.
It's like the way that if you're an American fan of, you don't watch New Japan, the way Will Ospreay is presented to you on AEW is not what Will Ospreay is. He's not a bad guy. That's not his thing.
No.
They're just doing that. But that leads to something here that made me pee in my pants.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, I mean, like just, and then a typical Ospreay fashion as the match is winding down, finisher after, backing out of finishers, reversing finishers, dropping some finishers, but not dropping others. Like at one point, didn't Umino go for Stormbreaker too?
Yes.
So it's like you got the role reversals, you got like, and this is what Ospreay does so well as the match winds down. You get those near falls. You feel for Umino because you think there's going to be an opportunity because Ospreay's selling so well. And then Ospreay all of a sudden from out of nowhere gets the pin. Like Ospreay retains. And I can't say enough good things about this match. Like this was like, this is in contention now for match of the year as well.
You know what? Okay. I'm not gonna go that far because I'm gonna hit you with something you're not gonna be ready for by the end of this episode. But so Ospreay goes over, and then we cut to the screen, the Jumbotron turning on, and it's fucking Kenny Omega. And he comes out with like one of the most badass promos we've seen him do. That he hasn't done
in full Japanese.
Yes, and he hasn't done a promo like this since New Japan, where he felt like a gangster, like he was like a tough guy. and challenges him, and then ends it with a bang, and you're like, oh my god, like this is like life changing. This could be like the greatest match of all time.
It's set up Wrestle Kingdom 17, Ospreay versus Omega.
Wrestle Kingdom is not going to be a joke.
No,
this is going to be a serious event.
This is the true. If my thought is Ospreay's going over in this match,
it's gonna, FTR is going to be there.
This is the passing of the torch from Omega to Ospreay.
But I think, I don't want to drag this video, but I think that it's going to lead to more New Japan matches with Kenny Omega. He's not just going to book out. There's going to be a thing. Maybe the Young Bucks are going to be there because they're definitely going to do the Terminator,
entrance.
Wrestle Kingdom is a special place.
Yeah.
If you're not doing WrestleMania, the next biggest thing is Wrestle
Kingdom. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. This year's Wrestle Kingdom, this is going to be the biggest Wrestle Kingdom post-pandemic for sure. Unfortunately, the ban won't be lifted until February for cheering in the arenas.
With this big of a crowd, the noises will exist.
Yeah, the clapping, the noisemakers. There's going to be.
It's like you never thought the day you would miss like Kenny. Like you never thought you would want that back, but now it's
this Wrestle Kingdom is going to feature talent from so many different companies. Because you're going to have AEW and WWE talent on the show because you got Carl Anderson.
Yeah. I'm sure you're gonna have something with Impact. Ace Austin is probably gonna be there doing something on the early card.
I honestly think Chris Bay and Ace Austin are winning the junior tags.
Yeah, that's fair.
Gonna face TJP and Francesco Akira for the.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's my thought, but yeah.
They love an outsider story.
Yeah.
Anyways, main event.
Oh, and then you're gonna have the most likely the Motor City Machine Guns there too because they're the strong open weight tag champions too.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a double loss for them though.
Yeah, it will be. But yeah, it's gonna be a good show.
Actually, no, Motor City's gonna keep. Motor City's going to hold on to those. And it's going to be a great match.
Unless, because they set it up at, you have, I don't know if you've watched Overdrive yet, but I've watched it. It sets something up with the Motor City Machine Guns and Austin and Bay. So I think it might be a three-way match for both the belts.
Yeah, guess who else might be there? The Buckaroonies.
The Buckaroonies. Oh.
That's a Young Bucks match to the fullest.
Yes. And you have like talent from three different. Give me that, please. Okay, thank you.
Let's move.
I digress.
This video is very long.
Yes, you can tell we've really enjoyed this show. We had main event of the night. Oh my God, we had Kairi against Mayu Iwatani for the brand new IWGP Women's Heavyweight Championship. Mayu Iwatani was 10,000 times better than her match against Kylan King in this match.
It's Kairi or Kari?
Kairi.
WWE.
Drop the ball. They dropped the ball with this girl.
She's better than Asuka. She's better than Io Sky. I don't know. I've seen anyone in this entire event so far put on a performance like this. Like I said, multiple days in a row, she actually, out of kayfabe, injured her arm and barely was able to use her arm.
You see it.
She's crying at some points because of how much pain she's in. Like, I'm not even going to bullshit you. So this is what I realized. This event is so special because it's never happened. This is the biggest company in Japan and their sister company. Finally, they're allowing them to be here and the stage is different. Stardom has fans, but this is a big stage. This is like being
nowhere on
women's wrestling for the first time ever being allowed at WrestleMania. And there's so much emotional buildup. They're putting on their best.
This would be like Impact Wrestling putting on matches for the crowd at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and they're trying so hard to impress. Every match was like hard hitting, so much emotion. Like you could feel it that they were not. There was no botches. It was just like, let's go. I mean, mind you, I'll get to what I think was a botches of this match, but
like to
the point where Waka starts crying halfway into the match and just cries all the
because
way
the
till the end.
emotion behind it.
Yeah, because this is something that's never. This is a first. This is the first time that the women have been treated equal to the men in Japanese pro wrestling, and like to the point I was like, the match had me crying. Like they were just
the
like
end of the match, absolutely, yeah.
There was so much, and it was like Iwatani wouldn't die. She just wouldn't die. The beating that she took was absolutely like insane. There was the stuff off the top rope was like crazy. That was so hard hitting. There was everything was like they were fucking just beating the crap out of each other.
Like at one point, they're just on the mat and they're just looking at each other and just kind of like
it's like, and you even seen it at the end of the
exhaustion.
Match. I don't know if we're ready to do that yet, but there was a few close calls where I realized this, and I didn't notice it earlier, but now that I've gone back and I've watched this match 3 times now, I'm not even gonna lie.
I've watched it a few times already.
But in the other matches, I started noticing the way that they do kickouts in Stardom is like it's based more in like realism of like not the wrestler kicking out, but them just
trying to get out.
At the last second, they just flop out of it. Like it's not so it makes both wrestlers look good because it wasn't that she didn't beat this one enough. It's that somehow with her last ounce of energy, she flipped herself over.
She just keeps finding that last little bit of like.
The referees didn't seem to understand that. So they would count 1, 2, and then have to like miss, and then the kick out happened. So it should have been a 3 on every single one, but you're like, you have to just like buy into what's happening.
Yeah. Put that aside. Exactly. You have to buy into the story in this one.
Because there's 2 for sure in this match where the ref counted 3, and then like a second later, something happened.
Yeah. I was saying too, some of the drop kicks Mayu Iwatani was throwing on Kairi, the distance she was like a missile out there.
One of them, she flew into the corner like at the very start of the match so hard that I was like, wow.
She broke her legs.
I was like, holy crap.
It's one of the best events, one of the best main events I've seen in a long time. One of the best women's matches I've seen in a long time.
And I was sitting there like, I don't want to watch a women's match as the main event. Will Ospreay should have been the main event, is what I was thinking.
But this needed to be the main event because it was a cross promotion.
This was deserved the match.
This deserved the main event.
This is the best women's match of the year.
Agreed. 100%.
This is my match of the night. It's so much goddamn emotion packed into the fact that I watched it a third time and I was still like almost crying. Why am I crying watching wrestling?
The only reason why that Ospreay Umino match is, I said, might be a contention is because this one was just so much better.
I
had more invested in this. So we'll say it. Kairi wins.
Yeah, and it's just like it's crazy. Like the crowd is there.
Waka's crying. She's just so overcome with emotion that Waka's crying that you can't help but like feel emotion yourself too.
And like because Iwatani is selling still.
Yeah.
And Kairi is like completely thrown kayfabe out the window and like wants to like hug her and be like, we just changed the world, like type of thing. Because that's like the impact of this match. This is like the first ever. You're gonna live forever because you will never die, and you're a legend.
And that's why I think Kairi is deserving of that recognition.
I fully agree.
Yeah,
and especially like I said, the build-up
because there will never be another first ever champion.
No, and Iwatani belongs in that, but her career is still right in front of her. Where Kairi is like slowly getting towards the end of the second half of her
career.
But like, holy crap, WWE, what a fucking miss!
Did she left
and the pirate gimmick works? It's so over.
But what happened with her? She let her contract run out, or did she ask for her release? Or
I don't remember. But I remember it happening. I just don't remember the events. I do know that
this happened right when the pandemic started.
Yes, when after the Women's Rumble, they kind of stopped booking her.
Yeah, because they had that WrestleMania with the pirate ship. That Mania was geared for her.
I don't know, man. Like
they dropped the ball. Like, and the gimmick she had in WWE, they had like the comedy, like women's kabuki, this kabuki, that. It, I don't know. It just didn't feel right. And it worked here. That's the thing. It worked here. She came out with the umbrella and the whole, like,
it
I
just
don't know.
works.
It just works.
Her entrance was great. The
Yeah.
zombie Iwatani was great.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. It was, and I even wrote down, this is such an important match. She's in so much pain at the end when she's doing her speech. She can't even talk. She's in
and
so
like
much pain.
I just want to like really say that. Like, I'm so proud that I got to witness this event, like day of, basically,
Yeah.
because this is such an like a historical crossover.
Literally.
This is like an event. This is something that will be remembered forever.
An event for the ages, for people who are into the Joshi wrestling or Japanese wrestling, or a fan. Like, there are some fans that I get it. They're WWE fans and they're WWE fans. But if you are any type of wrestling fan, I urge you to go out of your way to find this show. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, there's not one match on this card that's worth skipping.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was such, like, as much as the WWE likes to tout their whole, they had that women's evolution pay-per-view about women's wrestling and all, this pales it in comparison.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, head and shoulders above and beyond. And then not only after the match, Kairi, destroyed from the match, issues a challenge to anybody who wants it. She goes, I'm going to defend it with honor and with every, like, you know what I mean? And then we have, what's her name come out?
You're the name guy.
Oh, geez, I can't remember her name.
But I loved her.
Yeah. She was in a match earlier. She was the one that was...
but Starlight Kid, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, she was the one Taichi was creeping on.
Nakano.
Tama Nakano. She was the one that came out, and she, they were saying that, you're not allowed to touch the belt until you've won it, and this and that, and she's going over there, and she's like following Kairi, and she's like, stroking the belt.
Her character's like a wild card, like a
you don't know what she's unpredictable.
What's his name? Eddie Kingston type of like.
Yeah. And then, she goes, I'll challenge you. What is it? They said, we'll see them at the next, there's a December event, and that's when they're going to do it.
Hey, I'll watch that.
That's going to be their biggest, that's like their event of the year. Right. And that I'd watch that match, and absolutely I'd watch that match, and I'd watch that entire show if I could find it somehow. But it sets it up, and now you have and then there'll probably be a defense, whoever the champion is at Wrestle Kingdom too, because it's an IWGP belt.
Yeah, and after 5 hours of like ups and downs, emotional like arcs, I was like mentally drained, unable to function for the rest of the day. And then we had to review
Full Gear as well.
Full Gear that night, and it was like I know we waited till now and you hadn't watched it at that point, but it was like, for me, it was like having to sit and talk about Full Gear after having seen this.
Dude, this is what I did the day after the wedding. I watched this before I watched Full Gear.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I basically spent that entire day watching wrestling.
Having to talk about Full Gear after having seen this was like, why I don't even care.
Yeah, that's why you can see it in her Full Gear interview that it's like, and I think that also played into a factor of why Full Gear had such a low rating too.
I mean, I gave it a 7.6.
Yeah, it's not like we gave it a bad rating, but yeah,
it wasn't one of the best pay-per-views.
No, whereas opposed this one to me was.
All right, so for me, I'm not giving it a score. You're going to score first, but match of the night for me was the main event.
Yeah,
and
I would say both main events. They're both
okay. Well, we're gonna cheat.
Instead of a worst match of the night, because there was no worst match of the night, our two best matches of the night were Umino against Ospreay and Kairi versus Iwatani there. So those are the two main events, well worth the show, but the whole show is well worth watching. This, I'll tell you now, is my highest rated pay-per-view of the year. It is higher than Forbidden Door. I gave it an 8.8.
I don't want to score this because it's like, realistically, from watching it, like the importance of it, I want to give it a 10. But then nothing's perfect. And then also, this is only our first year of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Do I really want to say this is one of the greatest? But then at the same time, do I want to not give it a high score and then
This has been the best pay-per-view of the year, hands down.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an. What did we give Forbidden Door?
I gave Forbidden Door very close. I gave it a 8.5, and you gave it an 8.4.
This is an 8.7.
So you're right up there with me.
I'm not going to deny that this.
Yeah.
I want to go higher, but at the same time, it's like I haven't watched enough wrestling to just be like, this is a 10. Because, like, realistically, this hit every single criteria you could possibly imagine for what a pay-per-view should be.
You had great in-ring storytelling. You had great in-ring work. You have some of the best wrestlers on the planet, whether it be male or female. Like,
you had title changes. You had, like,
a brand new
matches,
title,
emotion. Great announcing.
Yeah, this show had it all.
And the crowd was quite large.
It was.
Which we haven't really seen yet in one of our New Japan things.
No.
So that was like a whole vibe too.
Yeah. Like, here I was excited for the Rumble on 44th Street, and that turned out to be a dud, whereas this turned out
we both thought this was going to be garbage.
Yeah.
And mind you, it's the best pay-per-view of the year.
Just goes to show you, never judge a book by its cover. Go out and watch all the wrestling you can. Speaking of which, shout out to PJ Freshville, who just won like the Super Kicked Rumble or something like that. Local Canadian Toronto guy. So good on him. At over 50 years old, he's following his dream. Good on him. But yeah, off topic. But yeah, fantastic. Go out of your way. Take a Saturday or a Sunday. If you're a wrestling fan, take the day and just watch this show. Find a way to watch this show.
Have some drinks, order up some pizza, have some friends over. This is a worth your time event.
It is. Absolutely it is. So with that out of the way, sorry this review took so long, but it had to be reviewed. And it's, like I said, there's not enough good things that can be said about this. So thanks again for joining us. Campo, we'll see you again next time.
Peace out.